What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today I want to do a little video on my new ice fishing rod I picked up from DellaBay Customs. We're going to put a new reel on it. It's the BlackBetty Ghost FreeFall. This thing is awesome. I've been using one for the last 2 years, so I wanted to get one on my new panfish rod. I'm going to talk about my line, my baits, some jigs. So just want to make a video for those that are interested in my panfish setup and maybe have any questions I can help you and target some of these panfish. So stay tuned, guys, and let's get this rod built. Alright, let's talk about the rod first. Right here I got a DellaBay custom rod. They're a local company out of Elk River, Minnesota, and they make some really nice rods I've been using the last couple years, and they're really starting to take off. Right here is the Pronto Pup. This is a 30-inch light action rod, and you can see right here it's actually one of the guys' last names also pronounced Pronto, so they a little play on the state fair. It's a panfish rod on a stick. So this is their 30-inch light. It's got titanium recoil guides. Really nice built rod. Got great sensitivity with that orange visible tip. And then for the handle, they make two different style handles. They got the full cork handle with the indent for the reel right there. And I really like the full cork. It's the way to go. I got a couple of these. But they also make the thin one, the reel seat, for the guys that want to screw their reel in nice and tight. So they have two different option handles. So this is the new rod I'm going to be rocking for 2021. Let's go ahead and get the reel on it. Who's used this reel right here? This thing is awesome. This is the BlackBetty FreeFall Ghost. This is their lower end model of the FreeFalls, I should say. I think it retails around 70 bucks, which is already crazy, but you can get up to about 150 bucks on their more expensive FreeFall, which is out of control. But for this model, the FreeFall, I really like it. I've had it for 2 years now on my other rod. A lot of you guys have been seeing me use it. The trigger, it's a game changer when you're fishing panfish. So let's go ahead and open this up and get it on the rod. Ooh, nice. Alright, here it is. The 13 fishing BlackBetty FreeFall Ghost. And it's pretty nice. My favorite thing about this, well, first off, I should talk about inline reels. When it comes to pan fishing, I prefer inline over the spinning reel, just because more or less the way the line comes off the rod, it holds your bait straight versus spinning the whole time. I'll show you guys that at the end of the video when we get it all set up. But this right here, for those that don't know, it's got this trigger. And what that does is more or less mimics like you could think about like a bait caster in the summer. So once you dial in your tension of the bait, you more or less just pull the trigger back, your line will start feeding, your jig will go down the hole, you get to optimal depth, and you're there, and you're fishing. So no more constantly pulling the line off, getting tangled up on the inline reels. So this trigger, to me, is a game changer when it comes to pan fishing, getting down there right away with them tungsten jigs. So let's get this on the rod. So we'll go ahead and get that on right there. And then today we're going to use the black ice fishing wrap tape. You could probably find this at your local bait shop or Cabela's or Shields or wherever you get your sporting goods stuff. But we're going to go ahead and cut a couple pieces of this off real quick. So we'll cut 2 pieces like this. And this stuff doesn't even have like an adhesive back. It's just self-sticking. It's pretty cool. You just pull it nice and tight and kind of adheres to itself. So go ahead and slide that reel right in there. We are going to wrap this just a little bit over like this. Oops. I'll hold that down with my finger. And what you want to do is pull it nice and tight. There we go. And then I like to wrap it, make sure it goes all around. There we go. And I got a little OCD, so I want to make sure it's nice and straight. Perfect. Alright. There we go. First one installed. Pretty slick. Like I said, it just kind of adheres to itself. Alright, let's get the second one on. Pull this here. And we'll do the same thing on the back. There. Pull it, pin it down, pull it nice and tight, stretch it, hold it tight, and then just keep unwrapping. And there we go. Just like that. The reel is now on the rod. So, pretty slick. Holds it really well. And kind of see that trigger placement now. So, now that we got the reel on the rod, let's go ahead and talk about the line. Get the line on. This is probably my favorite ice fishing line to use. I use Suffix Ice Magic. And when it comes to pan fishing, I like to use the 3-pound. I've caught a lot of big fish on 3-pound, so if your drag's set right, it's plenty heavy to do any kind of lifting that you need to do, as long as you play the fish and don't have too tight a drag. So 3 pounds my go-to line for that. And let's go ahead and get that strung up right now. This stuff comes in all different colors. I like orange. I think it looks cool, kind of accents the rod. But they do make a couple different colors in this. I think high-vis yellow, orange, and then like smoke green and clear. But 3-pound Suffix Ice Magic is the way to go. So let me get this on the rod right now, and then we will tie on the jig. Let's go ahead and take that off. We'll tie the first ring on. So you can go ahead and screw the little screw off, give you access to the actual spool so you can get that first tie on. So we're going to want to run it down the eyelets here. Eyelets check. Now I got to tie it around this. Alright. Alright, now that we have it tied around the spool, we'll go ahead and put that spool back on. Tighten that up. Like so. I'm going to go ahead and crank it on real quick, so we'll be back in a second. Alright. We are all spooled up now. You can see my nice orange spool in there. Sensitivity of that tip real quick. Ooh, makes me want to be out fishing. Alright, so for jigs, I'm a big fan of Kenders jigs. They're tungsten jigs. Obviously, tungsten is the way to go. I picked up a couple of their new series that came out last year, the Akua, if I said that right, the Akua jig series. But it looks like it's got a little, almost looks like a little waxy worm with feathers. And so I'm going to go ahead and tie this on, and that'll be what I try tomorrow for some panfish. My go-to for panfish and crappies is usually a pink and white with a glow. Anything about that, pink and white, that's my favorite. If you guys watched my videos before, pink and white with a white plastic is the only thing I ever use out crappie fishing. Let's go ahead and tie it on. Alright. There it is right there. It's got a little fluff to it, pink and white. I'm going to tie this on real quick. Loop, swoop, and pull. Just like so. Alright. Cut off the tagging. Alright, we got the jig all tied on. Before we check out the rig all together, let's just talk about the baits that I use. Forever I was using Trigger X mustache worms. Those are my hands down favorite plastic to use when it comes to panfish and crappies. I'm a big plastic guy. I don't think I ever really use waxies, or I don't know if I've ever even used crappie minnows ever for crappies. I'm a plastic guy, and I hands down catch them just as much as anyone using live bait, I believe. And the cool thing about plastics for me is I'll put one of these on, and I'm probably still fishing with the same one from last year, and I've caught tons and tons, if not hundreds of panfish with just one plastic, if not a few plastics throughout a year. I used to use Trigger X mustache worm. It got discontinued 2 years ago, and I do think, for anyone watching this video still, let me know who picked them up. I think VMC just came out with a all-new mustache worm, which is really just the Trigger X reinvented. But let me know, because I want to get back into using them. Once they got discontinued, I found these Lunkerhunt spade baits. Crappies just love the heck out of them. I'll show you what they look like. And I'll just use one of these, and like I said, one plastic will last damn near all season. So I think they have a couple different sizes, but this is the spade bait, and I'll put that right on the tungsten jig. Show you actually my other rod real quick. This is the standard Kenders jig that I normally use, and the reason why I'm showing you this is because the new Akua series is almost like it's built-in little waxy worm with some feathers. So if anything, I'm just going to put a little piece of plastic on the end to imitate a waxy worm. But this might just work itself without bait. But normally what I do for panfish, guys, is I'll take a 5mm tungsten jig like this. And these spade baits, I'll put right up on here, like so. And there it is right there. That is my go-to panfish bait. And you can see that little spade tail. Most of you guys that watch my videos have seen this setup probably for the last 2 years catching fish. I don't think I've ever switched for panfish. Maybe switch my jig if I happen to lose it due to a bass or something biting it off. And then here's a couple tips too. If the fish are really finicky and they're not really taking in this whole bait, what I'll do is sometimes when I'll get on like a light bluegill bite, I'll take half this off to where it's just the back end of the fin there. Kind of give it that smaller presentation, not so much hanging off, and I'll go ahead and put this on there. And what that does is that gives it the little extra shortness, so when they take in that bite, they're actually going to take in the hook versus just that big long piece of plastic. And that's when they get finicky. Just wanted to show you that because that one has the tungsten jig on. Like I said, I'm going to try these new jigs this year. And it doesn't have a whole lot of hook to leave that long plastic off. So what I think I'm going to do this year is I'm going to try out the jig without any bait, because this little feather and the little built-in bubbles might act as its own little worm. But what I'll probably do is, you guys saw me rip that piece of plastic off, which then leaves me with this little white chub. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tip that sideways like an old school mustache worm, or a little waxy. And I'm just going to put that right on this jig. And of course, like I said, I'm going to try it out tomorrow. I'm going to get out fishing for crappie. And I think this is going to be my new go-to setup. We'll try it out. The cool thing about plastics, like I said, is when you're out there, when you get hit, you don't know if you have your wax worm's gone, your minnow's gone, and you might be down there jigging with nothing. So 9.9 out of 10 times your plastic is still going to be there after you get smacked. It's nice to know that you'll have something still on there if you miss it and you want to stay down there without checking your bait. But and I'll show you guys something else too. Why a lot of pan fishermen like these inline reels. I love them. Found them a couple years ago. And the key is, in theory, the line gets spun on this way, so when it comes off the reel, it doesn't have all the twists in it. But in theory, your bait's going to stay right there in that target strike zone, versus a spinning rod that your bait might just be doing this the whole time. And then if a panfish is trying to take a nice finicky bite out of it, he doesn't know what the heck's going on. So these inline reels are nice to get that straight presentation like that. Put it in their face where they want it. And yeah, so any questions, let me know. I just wanted to make a video, show you guys my new setup. It's right here, 2021 Panfish Killer. Hoping to get some crappies tomorrow, like I said. Some of you guys might be watching this video like, do I need a custom rod? Do I need all this expensive gear? Absolutely not. You don't. You can go get yourself a nice FreeFall 101 $30 combo setup that's just going to work just fine. Make sure your tension's right, your hook's right, and your line's right, and you're going to be good to go in fishing. But if you are into custom rods and reels, which are nice to have, check these guys out. They're DellaBay custom rods. They're out of Elk River, Minnesota. It's always nice to help the local man, and they do make really quality products. I mean, you're right up there with tuned up customs with these things. If you're interested, check their website out. I got a link below. They give my viewers 10% off. Just something sweet for you guys to use if you want to get a rod. So feel free to check that out. The code's below. And yeah, give them a try. See if you like them. They make summer rods as well. If you're into custom rods, I highly recommend it. If you have any questions, let me know. So I just want to talk fishing, show you guys my new setup, and we'll see you back out on the ice for another video.